Boys, be honest, what makes a girl instantly unattractive? Manipulative testing behavior or playing games? Edit. Dunno why this needs said, but not all women do this. If you think they do, either you have some personal issues with women you should work through or you're spending time with the wrong people. Also, being wary of others and slow to trust is quite different than lying or engineering scenarios to cause somebody else distress so you can study their reaction and assuage your own fears and insecurities. Hurting others to make yourself feel better is wrong regardless of your gender, anxieties, or past traumas. So, no smash bros. I'm not smashing my bros for a girl. When she blames everyone for her own mistakes. For me, this goes with any gender. And friends too. Like no bi. I stopped being friends with someone who was like this. And she continues to tell people I stopped being her friend over politics. Anything to continue avoiding any responsibility at all. When she disagrees with you, she screams at you. No thanks. My mom screams often, so screamers are a big no for me. Expressing how shallow you are. Someone I was attracted to said something like, my future husband will have a lake house and a boat. One of her friends responded with, or maybe you can find the right person and then pursue that dream together. And she was just like, nah. Go for the friend. Is her friend single? But that attitude. Not for long. Flirting with every guy. If you're trying to make me jealous, think that you could have any guy at any time. Congrats, it works, I'm out. Why even do this? I date people who have qualities I like, I assume other people also like those qualities. So obviously they could be with someone else if they wanted to. No need to prove it. It doesn't make me jealous, it makes me less interested, lol. This obviously goes for both girls and guys, but when they focus primarily on themselves during a conversation. Was talking to a girl a few months ago and it eventually just kinda hit me just how much she talked about herself or would steer conversations towards herself and her problems. My social anxiety fucks me on this one because in order to seem engaged my brain goes, oh yes. Can relate to that. Hear my story. And 90% of the time I don't realize it until 3 a.m. when I'm laying in bed agonizing over every single thing I did and said to other humans that day. Edit. Thanks for all of the positive responses and the award. Y'all are the bee's knees. I have been diagnosed with OCD, anxiety about literally fucking everything, and depression. I believe I'm also on the spectrum and or have ADHD. But as an older millennial, getting a diagnosis for those things is not easy. I do this too, and a great rule I've set for myself is to ask them follow-up questions about their own story before sharing my own. Sometimes the follow-ups will lead to other genuinely interesting stories from them, and I don't even end up telling my own. People think I'm a good listener now, which, in a way, I guess I am. I did this tactic once, but I was so nervous about not messing up with a girl that it more or less turned into a bit of an awkward Q&A. In hindsight, I should have tried a second date because I could tell she was just as nervous as me and we were very attracted to each other, but hindsight is 20/20 and my eyes are fucked. Having an attitude out of nowhere and not apologizing for it. I get being frustrated and everything, I do it too. But I always go back and apologize and talk it out. Being rude or disrespectful without a reason. And then when I call her out on it, I get that you have to stop being so sensitive. How about you just try being nice, it's not that hard. Took me a long time to realize my best friend was doing this to me. Always making passive-aggressive comments that came off rude and disrespectful, and when I'd say something I'd be called sensitive. That's just my humor. I'd rather be sensitive than an asshole. I don't do that mean shit. My roommate invited a girl over and she just barks make me a drink at him. Roommate had a girl coming over. Her babysitter fell through. She asked if it was okay to bring her kid. Sure, whatever. She comes over. I'm sitting on the couch setting up my new iPad. We all say hi, blah blah. The kid comes over and watches me for a while, then grabs my iPad. I say, oh hey, I'm transferring stuff to it right now. The mom says that's fine. Go ahead, you can play with it to her kid. Like WTF. I didn't think that a woman with kids would be a problem. But there are problems. The kids may hate you because you're not dad. I ran into that one. 3 times. Things went nowhere fast. In one instance, the dad's first name was exactly the same as mine. I was dead to them. As a parent, I despise parents who are like this. How can some people have so little awareness of others? Not even respect, like just basic acknowledgement that the world doesn't revolve around them and their kids. Ick. Hope your iPad is okay. Editing to add solidarity for your iPad sitch. No joke, my ex-sister-in-law and her sister, husband and 1.5-year-old were at my house and the sister has a bowl of cut up bananas for the baby. Said baby proceeds to toddle around my living room with full-on mashed up banana hands and touch everything on my TV stand to keep her balanced. The mom says nothing, does nothing. I ran over to my YU covered in banana slime and ran it to the kitchen, and then when neither parent got the hint and kept allowing the banana child to wipe the banana slime all over my TV and TV stand. I picked up the kid and carried her to the mom. Didn't even say anything, just carried her over. Guarantee I'm somehow the bitch in that situation. I see your roommate is one of the masochistic types that just loves it when a woman shits all over him. It absolutely baffles me how many people there are like this out there. Men and women both. I like being told what to do. In bed and out of bed. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't like to also hear a please. Thank you kindly, burrito butt fucker. If she treats animals and waiters service or retail staff badly. You can easily judge the character of a person by how they treats those who can do nothing for them. Some old-time dude, debatable who exactly first said it. At a variation of this conversation with my 9-year-old this morning, she has a friend who is a lovely, kind and gentle human except that she is very rough with animals and plays with them in ways that could hurt or at the very least, scare them. Daughter was horrified by her friend's behavior. I explained that her family don't view animals the same way we do in our home, so when she is around our pets, we need to make an effort to model gentle and respectful handling, and if she is being too rough, I will verbally spell it out for her. My daughter said she is a really good person who just doesn't know better, and it got me wondering at what age does that reasoning no longer cut it. I would never excuse adults mishandling animals or treating them cruelly, so at what point do we start holding people accountable for kindnesses that they were never taught? This is a tough question. I adopted a dog from one of my dad's friends because his new wife was from a foreign country and he couldn't trust that she would take care of the dog properly. She was a good person, a good wife to him, but where she was from a dog was considered a dirty animal that you don't keep in the house or as a pet. They were to be kept outside and for work. So unfortunately when he would go to work the dog would be put outside. It would get fed, but no petting, no love. So he decided to find a loving home for it, which ended up being me, and I loved cared for that dog till he passed away at 15 years. But you have to work for me attitude. Like this a relationship we both need to be putting in effort. Bad smell. Bruh, I broke up with a girl recently and one of the reasons was because she had a cat and she would smell really bad like her cat shit piss. She would try to cover it up with this body mist stuff she had. Smelled like rubbing alcohol and made me cough a bunch because she would put so much on. I have cats and don't smell like cat piss or shit. It's really not hard. Yeah, WTF, that is just not normal. Sounds like her cat needs to go to the vet. Or she just need to stop rolling in the litter box. Constantly talking about an ex, even in a derogatory manner. Let it go. I have a friend that has been divorced for 20 plus years and she still can't stop talking about her was banned. Unreal. Majorly annoying. Oof. I feel like just using the word was banned is a pretty big turn-off. This is honestly why I don't date. My wife passed close to 3 years ago and I just can't imagine putting anyone through being the next person after that. She's still so much a part of my life that I feel like it would be wildly unfair to make someone suffer through that. I'm so sorry for your loss. As a woman on the other side of things, I've dated men who were recently divorced and some who were widowed. I found it a turn-off when divorced guys still talked about their exes because to me it's a red flag that they're still not over them. But widowers are completely different. I don't expect them to be over their wives they were forced to let them go when they didn't want to. They're grieving and I would be a bit turned off if they didn't talk about their late wives at least a little in a positive way. You're human, you were dealt a shitty card, that doesn't mean you don't still deserve love. As long as you're open to allowing an additional person in your life I see no problem with dating if you feel ready. My worry is that I'll make someone feel like I care less about them or that I'll compare them to my wife. However, I now have a lot of hobbies I can talk about because I spent quite a bit of time nerding out on things. I'm not a widow, but my pops is. Mom passed from cancer a number of years ago. It was rough watching him go through life during that time after her death. But he's happily married again. Thankfully he's found a partner who encourages him to think and talk about my mom. I absolutely adore her. My dad still loves my mom, but he absolutely loves his new love as well. And you can do that, it's alright. Everyone's love is different and everyone gets different love. And stepmom understands that. She insists and still keeps pictures of mom up. My dad has this unhealthy I have to forget about her mentality, but stepmom says that you can't just forget about a person you spent 20 plus years of your life and made a child with that's more unhealthy. Now my pops is a little more accepting, but stepmom still has to remind him every once in a while, which is I think the way it should be. Anyway, my point is that you can compare all you want, but it's functionally two different loves. And that's alright. Bad hygiene. This. You may be very surprised just how many people forget to give their bums a good clean. Here's more to this story I feel. He felt it too. Lying. Being flaky. Talking negatively about everything and everyone. Treating a server poorly. Man, literally this weekend. She said she wanted to meet up at 3:30 for food and maybe a beer. 3:30 rolls around, I call her to tell her I'm picking her up. She says she's not ready. At 4 she tells me to go ahead and go to the diner myself and she'll meet me. So I go on. 4:30 she's texting me about stuff, says she's not ready yet. Getting clothes on still. About 4:45 I decide fuck it, I'm already out of the house, I'm going to walk around to some of the other bars. I text her and tell her to let me know when she's on her way because I might not be sitting there. I'm about to give up and go home and she texts me and says she's nearly there at 5:15 or something, so I go back to the bar. She shows at in 5:45. I literally walk past her as I'm leaving to go home. This isn't some woman I know really well, it was a first date. As far as I can tell from what she was saying over text she was late because she was playing with her blog. This is unbelievable. People still have blogs. Fun story about being not flaky. In high school a girl said we are going over to Kenny's to watch a movie, I'll pick you up at 8. I was not ready for the doorbell to ring at 8 a.m. Married her and she hates this story. I'm gonna ask someone to a coffee date and show up at 8 p.m, tell her thanks for the inspiration. The summary of this thread is don't be an asshole and don't smell bad. Edit. If you go into controversial, you'll find the smelliest of assholes. Also, all of the qualities apply to people in general, not specifically women. I'd be turned off by a smelly, self-entitled asshole coworker as much as I would a smelly, self-entitled asshole partner. I think the question is aimed towards some girly magazine on how to get boys and shit. Honestly, there's usually a big misunderstanding that men dislike a specific type of clothing, a makeup pattern color, and trivial shit like that. Men and women are simple. We don't like idiots or assholes. You can't sell a personality, though. Entitlement. Spot on. Run like hell. This is so true as entitlement reaches into so many areas of a relationship from considering divergent viewpoints, to sex, to finances, to empathetic action, to working as a partner at. Al. You just summed a lot in one word. Using self-love as an excuse to be narcissistic and shitty. Self-love means taking care of yourself. Take a mental health day to relax. Take a bath with candles or something. Have a fancy meal. Get a massage. Basically treat yourself every once in a while. Not be a dick. Self-love is also the hard stuff. Like making a dentist's appointment even though you dislike the dentist. Taking time to clean to give yourself a clean home to live in. Budgeting to ensure that your money is being used effectively to care for your needs and set up for the future. Taking your medications regularly and consistently, even when it's inconvenient, aka, you're already in bed and sleepy, but you forgot your PM meds and have to get up to take them. The excuse of self-love is always the treat and never the chore. I find that it's a red flag when people use self-love as a reason to treat themselves but never seem to care for themselves. Edit. Wow, this comment took off rather unexpectedly. Thank you, kind folks, who have given awards and upvotes. To those who have commented, I have thoroughly enjoyed reading these comments and the examples given of how you are, or how you aspire, to practice healthy self-love. May this new year bring you all the courage, strength, and happiness you need to grow in the direction you choose. Throwing around too many TikTok therapy terms in general to justify shitty actions. I've been noticing this too. Everyone you disagree with is suddenly a narcissist. Being told that your opinion is wrong is gaslighting. Someone who isn't putting up with your mistreatment or bad moods isn't validating your experience. It's exhausting. It is possible to just not like someone or that person is just having a bad day, not everything is this deep-seated issue. If a girl shits on your passion. Like one of my best friends is really good at producing and making beats and his girlfriend at the time told him he is gonna go nowhere in life and his music sucks. He is about to get signed to a music label now haha. Cruelty to animals. Edit. Or being a pushy vegan like some of the commenters below. In HS I had a GF, we're on my bed making out, my new kitten hops up to see us, she was like 2 weeks old, had never jumped up before, I'm happy and shocked, GF says get it the fuck off. I told her to gfo, relationship over. Good call I felt. Either way, you ended the night with pussy.